Good morning, and welcome to the Obsessed With You podcast. My name is Brandy. You can find me on Instagram as Abby and Bella's mom, and on Ravelry as M. Weasley. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are well. It is a bright, sunny, but very chilly day here in Maine. I think the temperature is 17, if I can see those numbers clearly across the room. Brr. Chillier than yesterday, too. Yesterday was kind of weird. It said it was going to be cloudy and 28, and when I left for work, it was spitting snow. Then at one point the sun came out, but the sky in the distance was almost black. It's just winter in Maine. You never know what you're going to get. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I don't think I've had enough coffee yet this morning. So, I haven't been here in quite some time, since before the holidays. I really want, and I think I said this the last time before the holidays, that I really want to get on here at least once a month and share what I've been making with all of you. Today is a special day because it's my best friend's birthday, and I am actually recording this before she comes over to my house. We make sure that we take each other's birthdays off from work. It's a tradition, and we usually either go out to breakfast or we go out for lunch and just kind of generally do what the birthday girl wants to do for the first half of the day at least, and then we kind of, go about our business separately. So today we are starting our day, once she comes over, with a little yoga. We have been out walking with each other for almost a year, outdoors and then at the gym where we work. We don't work at a gym, we work at a bank, but we have a wellness center, and because it's so cold out most of the time, we go there and use the equipment. But we've decided to start doing yoga as well. So today is day one. It should be interesting. I think we're going to be doing a beginner's program from YouTube, Yoga with Adriene. I'm sure many of you have heard of her. She's very good. I have done her videos in the past. So today, I don't have a lot of time to sit and chit-chat, but I do have a bunch of things that I want to show you. I have a couple of finished objects, both knitting and sewing, one of which is a birthday present. And then I have some works in progress that are both knitting and sewing. So let's crack on and see how well I can do with staying on topic. I do like to ramble. So the first things I want to show you this morning are my finished objects. The first one I will show you, because it's a birthday today, is one of the gifts that I made for Rose for her birthday. Actually, now that I think about it, this is the one gift I've made for her, and then I ordered something online for her. So Rose loves to bake, just like I love to knit. And I decided, we'd seen these in the shops and we'd seen these on baking shows, and I don't know, they're hard. This particular style is hard to come by here in the States, or at least here in Maine. I don't know. I think I've seen them in one shop, and it was a British goods shop. So, I don't know. But anyway, what I made for her is this snazzy pot holder. So it's the long style. You slide your hands in on both sides, and then it has the spot in the middle, so when you're taking something out of the oven, you've got this bit of protection here, so when you bring it toward you, you don't get burned. But yeah, this was fun to make. It allowed me to use one of my Christmas presents, which was a walking foot for my sewing machine. I had asked for that, and my mother-in-law kindly gifted it to me. My quilting on this isn't perfect. Some of my lines are a little askew, but I think overall for the first time, for like my first serious sort of quilting project in a very long time, I think I did very well, and I know she's really gonna like it. I did get the heat resistant batting that I put inside. I sandwiched it between 2 layers of cotton batting, and I did that on the really long section. On these back pieces here, I just did the fabric and the cotton batting. I didn't think that the heat part needed to really be on the back of the hand. It was more important for it to be here on the front and then going down this long part. So the fabric is super cute. It's just all kinds of pretty little teacups, and then the fabric on the flip side is just this delicate sort of leafy vine print. All the fabric was stuff I had in stash. I think the teacup fabric was something Rose and I had used in a previous project for her kitchen. Her favorite color is green, so of course, you know, there had to be some green in there. So that is finished object number 1, which I do have to get wrapped up when I'm done hanging out with you. Finished object number 2 is a cute little hat that I knit. My nephew and his wife just had their second baby, another little girl, and they are in living in the Northwest, so I figured it gets cool enough there, cold enough, that knitting a little hat would be appropriate. So here it is. I do believe it's just some acrylic yarn. I think it's a Lion brand. I've had it in my stash for quite some time. Whenever I knit little things for people as gifts for babies, I try to just go with acrylic. Not everybody that I knit for needs the responsibility of wool care, and I wouldn't want them to feel bad if they accidentally didn't care for it properly and it got ruined. So I go with something that's easy care. So I'm pretty sure this is a Lion brand yarn. I have it in 4 different colors: this pink, the green, there's a blue, and then like a chocolate brown, which looks really cute with the pink, by the way. But it's just soft and squishy and very, very soft. The little pattern is from Susan B. Anderson. It was a free little pattern on her Barrett Wool Co. site. I honestly don't know if it's still free, but it was a collection. I think she called it the Harvest Collection, and this was the apple hat pattern. And so I just used that kind of as my guide, and I thought the little leaf and stem just made it really cute. So this will be getting popped in the mail later this afternoon, because she was born, oh my gosh, almost 2 weeks ago now. Time flies so quickly. So those are my only 2 finished objects at the moment. I have quite a few works in progress, one of which I did not bring over to show you because it's in my bag. It is my Christmas Eve cast-on socks. I did post a picture of them on my Instagram. I'm using a skein of opal yarn that I first saw on Susan B. Anderson's podcast well, not many, but quite a while ago, since she doesn't do podcasts anymore, unfortunately. And then I saw that particular colorway of opal again on the Bakery Bears podcast. Kay Jones was knitting socks with it, and it seemed festive, but not overly festive, so you could actually wear them year round or whenever you wear your wool socks, which honestly for me, I wear wool socks year round. I make little ankle socks. I have no problems. My feet don't overheat, so it's great. Excuse me for 1 second. I do need a quick sip of my coffee. Which is just about cold. I will have to refresh that later when I'm wrapping presents. So, works in progress. I have 3 knitting ones that I'm going to show you, and then 1 sewing one. And the sewing one is really, it's nothing major. Actually, I'll start by showing you that one first. I'm just going to get it out from under some new to me things. So my sewing work in progress, excuse me, my camera went a little crooked there. Is it still crooked? Oops, sorry. Technical difficulties. I am not the most professional in my equipment and podcasting skills, but it's just about hanging out together, right? It doesn't need to be super technical and fancy. Anyway, the other sewing project that I have the things cut out. I think I'm just gonna do a quick seam around the edges just to kind of neaten them up a little bit. But what I have done is I purchased a bunch, or I don't know, what did I get? A yard or 2? Must have been 2 yards of some just ivory colored terry cloth. And I have it here all cut out into roughly 11-inch squares. And my plan for these is to make reusable paper towels, so to speak. I'm really trying to be more thoughtful about waste and plastic and things of that nature. I've really been enjoying watching the following 3 ladies and their podcasts: Rachel from So Ray Me, Cherie from Ollie and Bella, and Gaina from Tales from Cuckoo Land. Each of those ladies has given me new insight and good ideas into being more eco-conscious, more earth-friendly, more aware of things that I bring into my house and things that I can eliminate. And I feel like I mean, I haven't gone like crazy overboard. I think my husband would probably really freak out if I did something like that. So I've been trying to just gradually implement these ideas into our home. For example, when I used to buy toilet tissue, I would get the 4-pack and it would come wrapped in plastic. I stopped doing that. Now I buy individual rolls, they're wrapped in paper, and I can just be okay with throwing away the paper wrapping and not have the plastic. I have stopped buying plastic wrap, plastic baggies. I now use little wax parchment baggies. I use tin foil. I have made some beeswax food wraps. That was another good idea from Cherie of Ollie and Bella. And when I start getting my deli meats, I have purchased deli meats that come pre-packaged in little plastic bins. I have saved those bins so that going forward, when I go to the supermarket, I can take a couple of bins with me, go to the deli counter, and ask them to put my cut deli meats into those containers as opposed to a plastic bag, which is their usual routine. What else? I just had an idea and now whoop, it's left me. Oh, I've even tried bar shampoo. I was shopping a couple of weeks ago with my best friend, and we went into this shop called Green Planet. It's in Belfast, Maine, and they had little samples of bar shampoo, and I thought, this is perfect. I can try it. I can see how my hair reacts to it, if it's going to be something that I'm going to be okay with using as far as how is my hair going to look and feel. And it's fine. Totally fine. I do want to look online to see about a conditioner. The shampoo bar that I bought said no conditioner needed. Yeah, I need just a smidge. my hair can get quite dry on one hand and then kind of be oily the next. I do have to wash my hair every day, otherwise, yeah, you'd think you hit oil. So yeah, so again, I'm using a bar shampoo and hopefully a bar conditioner, and therefore I won't be bringing plastic shampoo containers into the house. One of our local health food stores has a small refill station for laundry detergent, so I've been able to just take my empty laundry jug in there and refill it, as opposed to buying a new one each time, which I think is pretty cool. I really wish they offered more items to be refilled, like dishwashing liquid, multi-purpose cleaner, that kind of stuff, but it just hasn't quite happened here yet. So fingers crossed that somebody thinks of it, or that the health food store is able to kind of go that extra step and put those things for, I guess, bulk purchase as well. So anyway, I think I have about a dozen of these non-disposable kitchen towels that I'm going to be, like I said, just stitching up the edges to neaten them up a little bit, and then I'm going to just wrap them around an empty paper towel tube, and then that way they can hang on my dispenser in the kitchen. Oh, right now they are leaving tons of little fluffy fiber bits all over my pants. So that is my sewing work in progress at the moment. I cut these out around the same time I cut out the pot holder, but just my work schedule, I haven't had time to go in and stitch them up. So I'm hoping to get to that this weekend. On to my knitting works in progress. The first one is, well, it's a work in progress, but it's also a half-finished object, which I'm sure totally gives away what the project is. It is a pair of socks for my husband. I did knit my husband and both of our daughters socks for Christmas, which they all loved. And I don't know, I think it's a nifty tradition. I may have said this before, when my girls were little, I used to make them flannel pajamas. I'd make them a pair for Christmas Eve, and then, you know, that were kind of Christmas fabric. And then I would make them just kind of an everyday pair, and they loved it. And they've since gotten older, and I'm sure I could probably still get away with, like, at least making them pajama pants, and then, you know, a different type of top, or just going out and buying a pajama top. But I've switched over to knitting them socks, which is fine because they do love them and they wear them quite frequently. But my husband was saying something about not having enough pairs of wool socks. Well, stop right there, mister. Let me fix that. So I am knitting him socks. He wears a 12.5 shoe, so they're not exactly the quickest things to get off the needles, but he doesn't generally need any like flashy patterns, so they're just a basic vanilla sock. Although the ones I knit him for Christmas, which I did talk about on my last episode, I did do just a simple knit 3, purl 1 rib, just to give them a little spring, I guess, and I will definitely do that again. This pair is just plain stockinette stitch. I wanted to try to get them done as quickly as possible. I think I started them maybe right after Christmas, the first week in January. I don't know. I didn't write down a start date. I should probably get better with that. But anyway, this is sock number 1. This is the yarn brand is Lang in their jaw wool. I know I pronounced that wrong. Yarn. This is sock number 1. It's kind of, you can see it's kind of striping there, and then it's just it's kind of a grayish brown sort of color within the red in the middle. where's that little, I don't know if any of you are, how many of you are familiar with this yarn, but you get the skein of yarn, and then it comes with this little spool of reinforcement fiber. I haven't quite decided if this is just like a really thin yarn or a thick thread. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, that's it. And it totally matches the yarn, as you can see, and you work it in with your heels and toes to reinforce them, so hopefully the person you've knit the socks for, they don't bust through them as quickly. I do notice that it's definitely made the fabric a little thicker. I'm hoping it's not going to be super noticeable when he's wearing them. But you can definitely feel a little difference in the fabric in those two areas. So, sock number 1. Sock number 2 is coming right along. I did knit on this a little bit last night while we were watching television, but I don't know, maybe an inch, a little more than. I moved my marker and knit a little bit more. So this is how far I am on sock number 2. I do use ChiaoGoo needles. They are my favorite. They are pointy, they are slippery, and I can cruise right along. My little progress keeper here, if you can see that, is a little Cornish pasty. This is from Cheryl of Chapel View Crafts. She is in the UK. I love her stitch markers and progress keepers. They are absolutely precious. Her detail is super good. And I have tons of them. So, and this one, I think this wasn't the last one I bought. I think I got some other ones that are in my craft room that I'll have to try to remember to show you next time that are super cute. But I got those ones right around Christmas time. So, half finished object, second half coming right along. These are hanging out in my Dobby bag from Denise, who is Mrs. QB or QPB, I can't remember, on Instagram. She makes great bags. I haven't seen many posts from her lately. I don't know if she's taking a break from social media. Great job if you are. I know I'm trying to not let it take up so much time in my life lately. I'm definitely trying to pick up books more often. In fact, when I'm at work and I'm on my lunch break, I am knitting and reading at the same time. I just kind of use my phone to hold my book open. It's good use for it, right? Book holder. Yeah, and if I'm just doing something like a vanilla sock, which my Christmas Eve cast on sock that I've been carrying around with me is just a vanilla sock, so I can knit without looking and be reading my book. So that's been fun. My next work in progress has actually been a work in progress a lot longer than it should have been. It is for my best friend. She actually purchased the yarn on our Besties Weekend 2018 in a knit shop in Freeport called Mother of Pearl. They had a sample hanging up and she really liked it, and of course she was drawn to it immediately because of the color, because it's one of her favorites. And she looked at it and she asked me, is this a difficult pattern? Is this, would you be comfortable knitting this? And I looked it over, and she asks me those types of things. She's not super knowledgeable with knitting. I mean, she doesn't knit herself, but she's respectful in what I feel comfortable knitting, what I like to knit. For example, I don't like to knit the super fine, extra lacy, tons of yarn overs, fancy shawls. I wouldn't wear them. And I just don't feel comfortable knitting them. That's not to say that I couldn't knit them if I put my mind to it, but it's just not my jam, so I just don't. But anyway, she asked about this one, and I looked at it and I said, yeah, I could definitely do that. So of course, we had to look at the little tag that was pinned to it, see what the yarn was. They said you get the pattern if you buy the yarn. It is something put out by Malabrigo. So this is the yarn. I can show you. This is the colorway, Solace. And this is on the, I think this is just, yep, just Malabrigo sock. But the colors are so beautiful. I don't know if you can see, like right in here, it's kind of bluish, but then you've got the lovely teal green. So yeah, and again, green is her favorite color, so of course she was drawn to it immediately. I believe the pattern called for 3 skeins. Is it 3? Hold on, let me just quickly look in the bag and try not to wobble the camera too much. Yes, 3, because I'm on the first skein. There's one in the bag and then the one that I pulled out here to show you. Here's the cake. It's starting to collapse. I think I might find the outer end and ball it just so it doesn't tangle as I'm getting closer to the end of it. Oh, let me show you a picture of the pattern really quick. So when I hold up the squidgy bit that's on the needles, you're gonna be able to see what exactly it is. All right, so this is the pattern. That is what it's called. It is from Malabrigo. It is a massive triangular shawl. The schematic says from tip to tip, it is 75¼ inches, and from top to bottom tip, it is 29¼ inches. So, whoops, sorry for the glare. My front window is right there, and I have pulled the shade a little bit because the sun just shines right in and it comes right at me across the room here at my little knitting chair. So I pulled the shade down a little bit, but it's still on this paper, this glossy paper, it is making a glare. So this is the pattern, how it looks. It kind of goes in kind of like a herringbone sort of fashion. And there are 10 sections, so to speak, and I believe I picked up and did the first part of section 5. This isn't going to be super easy to show you just because of how it is. It's on 2 needles because you kind of work one side and then the other and then the other and so on and so forth. But this is what I have so far. This is where you start in the middle of the back. And I am actually working this edge. Nope, scratch that. Wrong edge. So many needles happening right here. I am working this long edge here, which is the start of section 5. And then as you can see, it's got these really pretty sections right in here, which are not difficult, a little fiddly, but not overly so. And as I'm going along, it's getting easier to get. The pattern was a little weird when I did a read through. When I picked it back up after so long, I really had to get myself situated with it again, but I'm really enjoying working on this right now. The yarn is gorgeous. It's nice and soft. It's not splitting. And just watching the shawl grow, it's really nice. I'm excited to get this done for her because I know she will love it and wear it often. I'm going to try to move this and not jiggle things around too much. Take another quick sip of my coffee. There we go. Check the time. Okay, so my next work in progress is another shawl. This one is for me, and I am working a shawl out of a book that I purchased, I think back in November. My local yarn shop was having a ladies' night, and so when I got out of work, I popped on over. It was really nice. You know, just almost like an after hours get together. There was drinks and snacks, and I think she was offering a discount on certain items in the shop, and it was just a nice way to start relaxing for the evening. You know, you get out of work and you go to the yarn shop and just take in some fiber. It was fun. But anyway, the book that I purchased that evening is this one here. Easy Beautiful Wraps for Every Season is what it says on the back, and it's called Knit Shawls and Wraps in 1 Week. Well, maybe if I was like devoting all my knitting time to just the one project, yes, that's probably a doable thing. But let's face it, most knitters have at least 2 projects on the go. Some, maybe not. I mean, I have been known to be a bit of a monogamous knitter, but at the same time, I've also had times where, like now, I've got multiple projects on the go. And to be honest with you, this isn't even all of them. I have a basket in my craft room with other languishing whips, and I do need to get to those. But anyway, this is the book. It is by Marie Green, or Mary Green, I'm not sure how she pronounces it. And the shawl that I'm knitting is called, let me just find the front page of the pattern, Berry Patch Shawlette. So it's a shawlette, so it's not super big. The pattern does call for worsted weight yarn and a size 5.5 millimeter, which is a US 9 size needle. I did change that a bit because the yarn I wanted to use was a DK weight, so I went down to a 4.5 millimeter needle, which is a US 7, just because I didn't want my stitches to be too loose. But let me first show you a picture of the pattern. Fold back the instructions. So this is it, and of course I was drawn to it instantly because she's showing it in red, which I may have to knit it again in red, who knows. Red is my favorite color, if I haven't told you that already. But yeah, and I am about 2/3 of the way done with this particular shawl. Let me show it to you. The yarn is from my local yarn shop. She has her own line of yarns that she dyes right there in-house. This is her tag. It's the Maine Yarn and Fiber Supply Company. And this one is on her Kennebec base, which is a 3-ply DK. It is 85% Polworth and 15% silk. There are 310 yards, and the colorway is called Road to Taos, as in Taos, New Mexico. Again, I'm using Chalgu needles. This is the yarn. The colors are just muted and soft, and I'm going to be able to wear this with lots of different things. I'm going to be able to kind of dress it up a little. I don't get super dressy, but then I'm also going to be able to wear it casually with a pair of jeans on the weekend, but it'll look nice with my skirts and things that I wear to work. So this is how much I have left. So I'm feeling very confident that I'm going to have enough to complete the shawl. This one's going to be a little more squidgy on the needles, and hopefully you'll be able to see it well. At least I'm at the end of a row. I don't have a problem stopping in the middle of a row. Pardon me. So this is the long part. And let me just kind of, I don't know how to show this. Anyway, there you go. Now you can see the pattern. So that's it, how it's knitting up. This is another one that I'm really, really enjoying. I find myself in a day going back and forth between the two shawls. Oh, if you just heard that beeping, it's just my coffee maker timer going off. It'll be fine. I'll still be able to have a nice, really hot cup when I'm done recording. So yeah, this has been really fun. The little, these little, I'm assuming these are like the little berry stitches there. When I first started them, I wasn't sure if they were coming out right, and I pulled back the row and I did it again, and then I just kind of kept going forward. And once I had done a couple of rows and completed a section, I was like, oh, those are turning out right. So thank goodness, because I was initially a little worried. But it is coming along very nicely. I do have another Chapel View Crafts project keeper on there. That is one of my little mince pies. So that is my last work in progress that I have to show you. Let me just get my needles back into the cozy. I don't lose anything. This project is hanging out in a bag that I bought for my husband to give me for my birthday last year. Something I do quite frequently. But it's super cool fabric. It is all vintage colors and coffee thermoses and coffee mugs, and I really liked the red and this right here, and so I had to have it. This is from Bird Street UK. She makes project bags. Her husband is Mr. B's Yarn. He dyes beautiful yarn. I haven't acquired any of that yet, but I have decided to put myself on a bit of a yarn diet this year. It's not super intense. If I see something that just really hits me, I will buy it. And if I have a gift card that maybe I decide I want to use on yarn, I will buy it. But for the most part, I really want to focus on yarns that are already in my stash, because I have purchased some very beautiful yarns over the years from amazing dyers, and I just want to turn them into wonderful items. Not all the yarns in my stash are going to get knitted this year. Some of them still need to just sit and look pretty. But yeah, that is my goal. I, of course, will still be picking up Notion type things. I'm trying to work on pardon me, getting together like a good stash of Notions. That way I can have little Notions pouches, so that each project bag that I'm utilizing at the time has its own Notions bag in there with all the necessities, so I'm not opening a bag and thinking, oh darn, there's not a pair of scissors in here, but oh, that one over there has a pair of scissors, I'll go take it from there, and then find myself back in that bag and not having the scissors because I snatched them earlier. So I'm definitely working on that. Excuse me again. Which leads me into things that I have received in the mail, new happy fun things. I did do some advents this past holiday season. I will show you those in my next episode. I purchased an advent calendar from Yarn Lab UK. It was Harry Potter inspired. I have posted pictures of it each day through December as I opened them. It was Harry Potter themed. It is fantastic. I already have a plan in mind for what I'm going to do with it, and I will definitely share that with you next time. But things that have come new to me, most recently, I'm going to go with that. I purchased a beautiful project bag from Leslie, who is Duckpool Lane. This is her card. She is also from the UK. She has an Etsy shop, and she most recently posted on her Instagram that she had some lovely Liberty Fabrics bags that were going to be going to her shop. And by the time I got over there, and they were limited in quantity, which I completely understand, but they had sold out, and I was a little sad. But she was very nice and sent me a message saying when she would be putting some more in her shop, and I was very excited to get that message. So I set a reminder on my phone, and I got one, and here it is. It is so pretty. I absolutely love it. And when I got it the other day, which, by the way, I got it Monday, I wasn't expecting it until at least today or even by Friday, but it came rather quickly. She did something a little different this time with the inside. I do have a couple other of Leslie's wonderful bags, and her craftsmanship is wonderful. Her bags are very well made. The insides are usually just a nice clean white fabric, but this one is actually a pretty pink, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but on one side she's even taken some of the Liberty fabric and she's put in a little pocket, so someplace to tuck little things, like something else I got from her. This I purchased with a gift card that my best friend gave me for Christmas. This cute little needle cozy. It's got some pretty fabric on the inside. So this is also from Leslie. And along with buying this with my gift card, I also got this, a little Notions bag. The fabrics are the same, it's just this one's got a navy background and this one has a white background. And then the back of the bag is just a pretty kind of plum, eggplanty sort of color. So this is like a perfect little set for me. I've got my little needle cozy, my Notions pouch, which is rattling because one of our local craft stores is going out of business, and so they've got stuff marked down. So I went in and picked up some things to, again, work on building up my little Notions pouches for all of my project bags. So those are tucked right in here, ready to go. I am not sure what's going to be the first project to go into this bag, but I'm excited to figure that out. First, I have to get these shawls done and the socks for my husband. All right, the last couple of things that are new to me. I had mentioned that my best friend and I went to Belfast when I got the bar shampoo. There's also a wonderful knit shop there called Heavenly Yarns, and I had a gift card and we popped in. I hadn't, the woman that owns the shop had moved. She had kind of been around the corner, kind of in a lower level space, and now she has moved up and she's on the street level around the corner. It's also a bigger space, so she's got more room for more yarn. And I know she's been in the new space for probably a couple of years, but I just haven't gotten there. So this was the first time seeing her new shop, and it's lovely. So while I was in there, I picked up these two gorgeous skeins of Quince & Co. Sparrow. There's the tag. It is 100% organic linen. It's actually from Italy. I bought this to make, I haven't decided if I want to do like a wash mitt or just some pretty little squares for washing my face and whatnot when I'm in the shower. I did purchase some of this before, so I have worked with it. I made wash mitts for my mom and my mother-in-law for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. So who knows, maybe I'll do one for myself, or maybe I'll just make some squares. But that was part of my purchase there. I also picked up another skein of this. This is West Yorkshire Spinners. It's one of their bird colors, and this is Wood Pigeon. I have knit with this before. This exact colorway too. I actually knit 3 pair of ankle socks, a pair for me and then one each for my 2 daughters, with one skein of this. The only thing I did was I gave them contrasting heels and toes. And because all 3 pairs of socks were going to be in the house together, I gave one of my daughters, hers had gray heels and toes, and the other one kind of had like an off-white, and then mine had, well, they were supposed to have gray heels and off-white toes, but somehow they ended up, one of them having a gray heel and an off-white toe, and the other one has an off-white heel and a gray toe. But I know they're mine, and they know which ones are theirs, so no worries. But this is amazing yarn to work with. It is 35% Blue Face Luster, which I absolutely adore. And this yarn smells fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love smelling yarn. So that is it for new to me items, which is pretty good, I think, in the overall scheme of things, not counting things that I got for Christmas, mainly my Advent swaps. But again, I will show those to you next time. And sadly, this is the end for today. I have to kind of get my wiggle on and go wrap the birthday presents for the birthday girl before she arrives here at my house. What time is it? Yep, I've probably got about 15 or 20 minutes to do so. But I'm glad I was able to sit down and chat with you all, share what's been going on with my knitting and my sewing, and I guess I kind of shared podcasts that I've been watching when I talked about Rachel and Cherie and Gaina. I've also been enjoying Craft House Magic with Ellie. I've been enjoying, of course, the Bakery Bears. They're always #1 here at my house. Yeah, I actually have a lot. I feel like I watch more podcasts than I do regular television, which is totally fine with me. I have no problems with that. I think it just keeps my creative juices flowing. I love seeing what other people are working on, other things that they're doing. Again, I've incorporated lots of new lifestyle changes thanks to the 3 ladies that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, it's super fun. And over the weekend when I was watching the newest Bakery Bears episode, or no, it wasn't the regular episode, it was the patron only episode. They were talking about, is knitting a hobby or a lifestyle? And Dan Jones was quite adamant, and I have to agree with him, knitting is a lifestyle. I think crafting in general is a lifestyle. I feel like knitters, I don't think we are solely just knitters. I think we all have other crafty things that we enjoy doing along with our knitting. We like crochet, cross stitch, sewing, embroidery. Another one that seems to be making a good appearance these days, which I really want to try, is punch needle rugs. Again, all that stuff just keeps our creative juices flowing, and that helps our brains, and making is a wonderful thing. Overall, it's just a wonderful thing. So I love it, which is why I like to come and share what I'm doing with all of you. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope your weather is good wherever you may be. I know probably in some places you may be having a cloudy day or a rainy day. It is definitely cold. I'm going to have to bundle up for sure when we go out after our yoga, because we are going to lunch afterward, and we'll probably go to some shops because that's just what we do. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. If you've liked today's episode, please hit the thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. I would absolutely love that. And hopefully I will be able to sit down with you at some point in February and chat some more, and hopefully have some finished shawls to show you and some new works in progress. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.